Hey, what is going on, guys? The SS Ultimate Goku back with another video. And so today we're going to be talking about Tiny Toons coming back this year at some point. Supposedly it's coming back to Cartoon Network. But it also is going to be on HBO Max. We don't know how much true that is going to be, because I have zero faith in Cartoon Network putting out regular contents these days, besides shitty Teen Titans Go. But nonetheless, there are a lot of bigger issues. So obviously Animaniacs came back, and I've gotten around to watch a lot of the episodes. And for the majority of the stuff, I've liked a lot of the episodes that they've done for the Animaniacs, and I think they've handled it very good on most fronts. But there is a worrisome about Tiny Toons coming back, because Tiny Toons... with Animaniacs, they're more kind of Crackmanian jokes, fourth wall breaking, which Tiny Toons kind of does that too, but they kind of do it in a different way. They're a little bit more serious when it comes to, certain stuff, because it's obviously Looney Tunes. It's just like the kidder versions of the Looney Tune characters, from Acme Looniversity. Being, trained by the adult Looney Tune characters. Most of the characters that are tiny versions are basically, counterparts to the characters, with the exception of a couple. Obviously, Elmire Duff is, an original, type character, kind of adding a human element to it. But then you got, and obviously Babs Bunny, obviously she's not really a counterpart to anyone. No, Lola Bunny did not exist at this time when Tiny Toons was created. They were created in 1990. Lola Bunny didn't make her debut until 1996 at Space Jam, so she technically was the original female Looney Tune character. Which I would argue is the reason why Lola Bunny was actually created in 1996. I think that was kind of the push to create a female adult type Looney Tune character, because of how successful Babs Bunny was as a Tiny Toon character. Buster Bunny was obviously, the counterpart to Bugs. But then you also got characters like Fifi La Fame, who is the counterpart to, as we know, Pepe Le Pew. Only she's a she instead of a he, and instead of having a female cat, you had a male cat that was being chased after by Fifi La Fame. So, my worrisome is that, like Pepe Le Pew, especially with the recent controversy of Pepe Le Pew being pulled from the terrible Space Jam movie that's coming up soon. Hopefully it bombs at the box office so people can actually understand how terrible this is. The director has made terrible decisions. In my opinion, he changed the entire dynamic of the movie, apparently. He recasted Lola Bunny's voice actor, because it was originally announced that Lola Bunny's original voice actor was coming back, and then all of a sudden they changed it to a celebrity. So, and I do believe this because they have every other Looney Tune current voice actor coming back to be their Looney Tune, character or whatever. So I do believe that this is, I think this is a very significant, or this was changed when the new director came in, because they replaced directors halfway through production. And this is what led to Lola Bunny being changed around all overall. And then, of course, the Pepe Le Pew scene was removed because of this as well. And that's when all this whole Pepe Le Pew stuff came out with the New York Times. Never read New York Times again, by the way, because until that guy gets fired, you do not. I will never read the New York Times again. I'm from New York. I will never read those people again until they fire that motherfucker. That motherfucker. You know. Apparently, he allegedly plagiarized his work. There was an allegation like several years ago that the guy who wrote that article about Pepe Le Pew actually plagiarized at one point. He was actually accused of plagiarizing. So, yeah. Not very good people at the New York Times, apparently. But, yeah. Don't support the New York Times until they fire that Charles, or whatever his name was, that wrote the thing about Pepe Le Pew. Anyways. So, my concern is, obviously, Fifi La Fame. Again, I also want to say excuse my French, because obviously I'm trying to express myself in a professional way, but it's kind of hard when you talk about idiot journalisms like that, that are terrible. Point being, let's get back to topic though about Tiny Toons. Fifi La Fame, obviously counterpart to Pepe Le Pew. With all this controversy coming in, I can't feel to not thinking that this character is now going to be canceled too, because obviously she's the counterpart to Pepe Le Pew, and she learned from Pepe Le Pew. Like, Pepe Le Pew gave her the ropes, just like, Buster Bunny learned from Bugs, and etc. All these other characters, like Daffy Ducks and Pugsley Ducks. That was kind of some of the gags they did in Tiny Toons Adventures. So, that's one of the things I'm worried about with Tiny Toons, because, again, with Animaniacs, there really wasn't anything that needed to be changed. I mean, they updated to current times, obviously, but, which they actually literally did in the first episode of Animaniacs, but, there really wasn't that much to change overall with Animaniacs. I mean, some of the side characters don't appear in Animaniacs, but they addressed that. I think it was in episode 5, where they have been, though, ever since that episode. We still really haven't seen them that much. So, I'm on episode 10 at the time of this recording for Animaniacs. But, nonetheless, this is something that I'm worried about with Tiny Toons, if they're going to have all these characters in there, and also if they're going to have it basically be around in this time, because obviously Animaniacs has been, they can't exactly do what they did with Animaniacs that they did in Tiny Toons, because Animaniacs, obviously, they're in a school, trying to get their degree or whatever. So they can't just pretend that it's been 20 odd years since they have been, off TV or whatever. So that's another thing about Tiny Toons that I'm kind of a little concerned about when it comes back, is how it's going to be presented. Like, what have they been doing for 20 years? Are they still the same age? I'm assuming they're the same age, but obviously they have to kind of explain that, time has never passed. Because it's like, it's different. See, the thing, obviously they kind of have fourth wall breaking stuff in Animaniacs, or in Tiny Toons as well as, Animaniacs, but the Animaniacs fourth wall breaking is much more defined than Tiny Toons, because Tiny Toons does have a plot, does have like a significant, consistent plot, where Animaniacs doesn't really have that. They have one-liner skits to move along, and do their fourth wall breaking stuff, where Tiny Toons will occasionally do the fourth wall breaking stuff, but they try to stick consistent to the plot still at the same time, because they are trying to, get their, acne, graduational degree, basically. And that's the thing, that they have to worry about, right? And Fifi La Fame being like Pepe Le Pew, and she literally kissed like the cat, like kissed like right on the lips, like friggin', goes right in there. If you first see her, like she's I would say even more aggressive than Pepe when it comes to trying to. And the thing is not many people really run away from her compared to Pepe. Like everybody runs away from Pepe Le Pew. And that's the whole idea behind it. With Fifi La Fame, there's multiple times where a lot of people still hang out with her, like they don't try to run away from her like they do with Pepe. Elmire even like hugs her multiple times throughout the series. So I would argue that she is even more aggressive than Pepe, because more people hang out with her. Where Pepe, everybody runs away from him. Everybody, not just Penelope. Everybody runs away, and that is why Penelope doesn't like him. Not because of this, that she doesn't like him. She doesn't like his smell and his stank. And there's episodes actually where it's reversed, and she actually goes after him. But this is my concern now with all this new stuff coming out about Pepe, that Fifi La Fame is going to be canceled as well, too. And it's not like they can't ignore it, because it's like, it's out there now. She's the counterpart of Pepe. They're basically, screwing these characters over, so you're already going to have a dumber down product, because you're going to have to censor certain stuff. And so I'm already kind of worried about Tiny Toons, because the way Tiny Toons is handled is going to be a lot different than Animaniacs. Animaniacs is Animaniacs. You know what you're getting with Animaniacs. With Tiny Toons, you're getting the kidder version of Looney Tune characters. Most of these characters, again, are based off of their adult counterparts. And so that is the biggest problem with this this coming back. And how Steven Spielberg will handle the Tiny Toons, especially now with the whole Pepe Le Pew stuff. As a matter of fact, some of the adult Looney Tune characters make cameos in the original Tiny Toons, including Pepe Le Pew. So is Pepe Le Pew not going to be allowed to interact with Fifi La Fame, or her mentor, like Buster Bunny's not going to be able to interact with Bugs? Will I ever get the Sega Genesis games recirculated? Because I used to play those games. What, the Sega Genesis Tiny Toon games where they had the password before memory cards were a thing. You had to write down the password and stuff like that for the Tiny Toons. Yeah, I used to play those games. I remember those games. Y'all remember those games. Y'all remember those Sega Genesis games, don't lie. Are we going to have that still re-released? You know what I mean? I'm hoping it's on Cartoon Network. I have zero confidence it's going to be because everything goes on Cartoon Network goes away and you only get a chance one time to see it and then it's gone. You know, that was the same thing they did with OKKO. I could never get home in time to watch it because it was always at a dumb time. I always had to watch it on replay or tape it. Because Teen Titans Go basically steals the entire schedule of Cartoon Network. So if it ever does air on Cartoon Network, I have zero confidence that it's going to last on Cartoon Network. It's going to be on HBO. I wish it was on Hulu. I have Hulu right now. I wish they would have it on Hulu, like Animaniacs, but obviously that deal was done before. I think the Hulu deal was, like, done well before the whole takeover. Disney bought it and stuff, because Warner Brothers owned, I think, like 20% of Hulu at the time. Before, I still think they own some of it still. And I know they made an agreement that they would eventually, take over ownership because Disney basically owns it now, anyways, because of the Fox deal. Disney owned like 40% of it. I think Warner Brothers owned 20%, and like Fox owned like 40% or whatever, and then obviously they owned 80% and whatnot or whatever. No, I think it was Universal owned 10%, or I don't remember. It was some type of percentage like that. I don't remember, but point being is Warner Brothers owned a percentage of it, and that was kind of why they opened up the deal for Hulu to have the show. It didn't come out until now, or until late 2020, but they had already had the deal signed, so that's why it was a Hulu original. Show, even though it's technically a reboot. It's technically it's a continuation, but it is a reboot, but it's not because it's a continuation of the original Animaniacs. But it's on Hulu. This particular series is original to Hulu. So I don't know how it's going to last. I mean, currently they have all the Tiny Toons on Hulu. So you can watch all the old Tiny Toon stuff on Hulu, the movies, the series, whatever. They don't have anything else, because they're not going to get the new series. So the new series is going to go to HBO Max and Cartoon Network, and I still don't know how that's going to work out. But that's the thing I'm concerned about. Coming into this with Tiny Toons. What do you guys think about this? Where do you guys think Tiny Toons is going to be at in 2021? When do you think it's going to come out? What do you guys think? Do you think there is a concern, or do you think Steven Spielberg is going to do it very similar to Animaniacs? I have concerns already because of recent stuff that's going on at Warner Brothers with the Space Jam 2 movie. But let me know what you guys think, guys. Comment down below, rate. If you are a new subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, notification bell for all the latest contents. And if you are an existing viewer and you haven't subscribed or hit that bell, make sure to hit it for all the latest contents. Bell keeps you up to date. And yeah, I do have my Discord link in the description for discussions. And that is about it. I'm out of here. Looking forward to the rhyming theme song coming back for Tiny Toons, because that's an awesome theme song. even though it isn't them actually singing, it's just them rhyming. It works, nonetheless. So I'm out of here. I'm the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace.